And happy to have you all here. Thank you. Turn that off. Okay, we do have a quorum. The recording is started. Meeting is called to order at 5:05 of the Otter Creek Communication Union District. Thank you with the new Teams platform and me communicating it for bearing with and getting here, everybody. Let me introduce Ethan. You don't have to, you can or you don't have to turn your camera on, but Ethan Pepin is from Rutland Regional Planning Commission, and he's hosting us our in-person physical location tonight. Maybe Ethan at times, might be Deb Neary, the executive director, at other times. But we are very thankful for that, as well as thank you for bearing with me and my mess ups with the site. So I will move on. I need an approval of the agenda as written, or any changes anybody needs.
Can you keep it down, please?
Down, please.
Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Aye.
Aye. Motion.
Aye.
Motion. Who's the motion?
Andrew was the motion.
Andrew. And a second, please.
I will
Danielle.
second it.
Thank you, Mark. All in favor to approve the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. I don't see any members of the public, so we will move on to the chair report. So first order of business is that Rutland Regional Planning Commission is proposing to offer services. We're going to pay them. And Larry and I met with Devin Neary, the executive director, last week or so. And what we talked about was having Rutland Regional host our physical location, which is required, as well. They'll host our physical address, and they have been checking our mail, which is post office box, so that will continue, but we can reimburse them for their services now. Been doing it for free. And they are also going to take over our duties of our treasurer, and Jackie can be off the hook. So yeah, that will work out really well. They do these services for other organizations in Rutland, and in setting up that agreement, they developed a memorandum of understanding, and that's what we would set up as well. So we'd like to go through with that. They'll have their lawyer, their legal counsel draft the memorandum of understanding. I will let our legal counsel know that that's coming, and they can be in touch as needed. And once that memorandum of understanding is drafted, I'll sign and approve it. But I would like the board's a motion to approve going ahead with developing that memorandum of understanding. Oh, and I'll say this was discussed with the executive committee last week, and the executive committee was in agreement that we should bring this motion to the board for approval. Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Pardon?
I said motion to approve. I think it's a great idea.
A motion is on the floor to approve going ahead with having a memorandum of understanding. Thank you, Danielle.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Peter. I think I heard. And is there further discussion or questions about that?
I do actually have a question. I just want to
Yep.
be clear that the I think the board still, or the executive committee still has to approve whatever agreement is negotiated. I don't know that, because we're delegating responsibilities, core responsibilities to an outside organization.
Mhm.
And I just, and maybe we can understand from Eli as well, whether once the terms are negotiated, whether you have authority to just sign it or whether you need to bring that back and have the board be informed on what the terms are, because ultimately we're we're liable for whatever
Yes.
however the money is handled is ultimately our responsibility. So
Yes.
I know I would feel more comfortable. I'm all for doing the MOU, as I said at the executive committee, but I'm not comfortable just saying agree to anything. I'd like to know before it's executed that I have an understanding of what it is, what the terms are.
Right. So the services are as I just described.
No, I
but
understand, Laura.
The
I get that.
terms do need to be drafted, correct?
Right.
And my intention, when we look at our schedule next, or in a couple items, what is kind of on our schedule is that in March, that MOU would be drafted. So the executive committee, both the executive committee and the board are going to be asked to meet in March. So executive committee would review it in March, and then we would ask the board to approve it.
Right.
Or approve me signing it. That's essentially
Yeah.
one and the same, but is that what you're kind of looking for?
Yes, I just wanted to
Perfect.
be sure that my understanding that was the process.
Yep.
Okay,
That
great.
is. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And to Leslie's point, we have a list of services, but we don't have the cost yet of what it's going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Okay, we do have a motion on the floor and it's seconded. Any other questions, discussion? I will take a vote then. All in favor of the motion to go ahead to have Rutland Regional develop the MOU to present to Otter Creek, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? It sounded unanimous. Thank you. Moving on. Okay, frequency of meetings. Did you all see the schedule? So, boy, I hope I can present. I practiced in the practice. I'm going to present the little table calendar. Yeah, that's going to work. I just have to find it. Document 2. I might have the wrong thing open. Let me see if this is it. That's an old one. Sorry. Hang on. Oh, wait. I want to stop. I want to stop sharing. Stop sharing that. Yeah, it looked good, but it was not the right one.
That's right.
No, I thought it had everything all prepared and open before I add it. Here it is. I was cleaning off my calendar, my desk, so okay. Sorry about that. Coming soon. Let's try this again. Here we go. All right. Can you all see this?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So this is the calendar that executive committee discussed last week. So here we are in 2025. We are meeting here in January. I'm looking at the right-hand column, which is the governing board. March is when we would have the MOU from Rutland Regional. By the way, in doing that, we are also going to have to draft amendments to our bylaws and our financial procedures, because those will obviously change from from what we have now. We're, I don't know if I have this later. We're planning to set up our payments of all our regular, like monthly operations costs, like our website, our Google accounts, and our bookkeeper. These are regular costs, and I can share them with you tonight if we like. We're going to set up so those can be automatically approved. So that will be part of this process, and we'll describe that in our financial procedures so that we don't have to meet monthly just to approve those types of invoices that we get every month. What I'm moving towards, if you can see, is us meeting quarterly. So anyway, so yeah, we'll meet in March for that. We won't meet in April, which, by the way, is when the annual appointments are going to be due, which is another service that Rutland Regional is offering to, or thinking of helping with. I think they said yes on that one. And then May is, once we have our yearly appointments in, May will be our annual organizational meeting. So we just have to elect our chair and vice chair and appoint our, what else do we have to do? Appoint a clerk, more news on that, etc. Not that much more to do on that. And then I wouldn't meet until August. Maybe we could do a picnic again, and then wouldn't meet until November. And then if you see us roll into 2026, it's quarterly meetings. We would meet once every 3 months. That is our plan. So we do have to, per our bylaws, our schedule is to be approved by the governing board, determined or presented by the governing board. So I would ask the governing board to approve this schedule. Is there discussion, and is there or can I ask for a motion to approve this schedule for 2025?
So moved.
So moved. Thank you, Leslie. Is there a second?
I would second it.
Thank you, Mark.
But I'd like to ask another question, though.
Yes, please.
What are we going to be doing for these 2 years that we're setting up? I know that I asked you that question a few months ago.
Right. What are we going to be doing?
What are we going to be doing?
We're going to be existing.
Existing.
We kind of have to. You know, we own these assets of this fiber in our communities.
Right.
We may be more engaged or less engaged as we so choose, either as an organization or as individuals, with being involved either at our town level, at a state legislative level. We don't, truthfully, we don't have a lot of duties now that we've built out. Our grant we've funded, we're almost done even paying our partner, Consolidated. So yeah, true, Mark, there's going to be less and less to do. There are other initiatives going on at the state level. There's not much statutorily that we have to do.
Right. Okay.
Leslie, did you have a?
I did. Sorry, I just changed my screen by accident.
Right.
I'm trying now to undo my hand raise. There we go. So one of the, that's a really great question. And I think maybe one of the things that we need to do is look particularly at the agreements with the providers that are fulfilling our role as the, the communications district to see what obligations sort of are ongoing. Some of them I think are service quality. This is just vague
Yeah.
recollection, Laura, from when I worked on one
Thanks.
of them with you.
Yeah.
So there's sort of this oversight. So I think it would be probably a good idea to come up with sort of an agenda of exactly to Mark's point, like what are we supposed to do for over the next couple of years? And I think to do that, we need to understand what our obligations are under the various contracts that govern our existence.
Right. Thank you, Leslie. And
Sure.
perhaps I left out, yes, we do have obligations and there's reporting that we will continue to need to do. And that reporting is going to come from our providers to us as an entity, and we have to report it to the VCBB.
Mhm.
So it's like quarterly speed and latency reports and other consumer what do I want to say? Reports on, yeah, their like how they respond to consumers. I forget what that's called, but we do have obligations that are tied to our grant and ownership of our asset.
Mhm.
Mark, would it be helpful if we, and I actually pose this to others, and maybe we can discuss this later. This is, it's definitely tangent. It's relevant to the schedule, but not the details. But is to
Mhm.
actually have an outline. Like I think we as members should each of us know, like what do we do? Like what do we have to do? And I think sort of itemizing those things, Laura, might be a really good idea for us. As we head into maybe the the March meeting, and I'm happy to be on a team to do that because I do think it's important for our fiduciary obligations.
Leslie, may I interrupt, please? Because I do agree that this should be a not on a public meeting that we should discuss this, because I agree with you and I have some questions myself.
Got it. Yes. I think I'm hearing, Danielle, that you're agreeing.
Absolutely, I'm agreeing
Yeah.
with Leslie, and I'm agreeing with
Yep.
her concerns, and I agree that we all need to figure out what exactly we're in for and where our responsibilities are going to be. But I don't think it should be on this platform.
Why not?
Well, we can only conduct business in a public a forum, right? So,
Yeah.
So I think my recommendation is to task a couple people, whatever, to make a list and then bring that forward to the next executive committee meeting or a governing board meeting.
Yeah.
And I'm happy, Danielle, to have a side conversation with you, just the two of us, to understand a little bit better what your concerns are. For sure.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, because I might have something different to offer, and I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page on what we're responsible for moving forward and how that's going to work moving forward. Understanding the grants a little bit more. Yeah, I think it's important.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fine. And I'm thinking right now, what is not public? I mean, we have our contract with Consolidated and our agreement with GoNet Speed, and those have not been necessarily public documents. They're public to us, they're available, they're on our drive. We can all see them. I guess I think that's a good idea, is just to sketch out.
I'm not
just
insinuating that
generally
anybody is
what-
doing anything wrong. I just think that this potentially might be new to everybody. And I think it's important that as a group who is going to be representing it, that we understand everything better on our own before we go to the public and everything is recorded.
Okay, we'll have to think about how to do that. Yeah, although I think that we can say, and it is public, that we have reporting to do. So that is public. That's in all of the VCBB meetings and so on. So that's not a problem. Exactly what data or information, we're talking about some of that might not be public particularly. So yeah, I think Leslie's thought that we offline discuss, go over our contract and the terms of our contract and our grant, and just put together a description of what it means in the next couple of years going forward. To describe that to all the board members is a good idea. Many of us have already been here through the whole process. So like me, I'm probably not thinking of how important that is for all members, especially many of you who were not on board, when the contracts were developed and so on. So I think this is a really good discussion and good idea to bring this information, have kind of a review of our business plan at this point.
I don't believe we're going to be doing anything inappropriate. We're just going to be having discussions on how to represent ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. Right. The other thing, and I might be going off, no, well, I didn't put it in the agenda, is that, we do have, we have a group, we've been having regular meetings, but with other CUDs, with discussions of whether we should collaborate, share our services. We discuss sharing our reporting requirements, so that things are just simpler and easier. All three of us, Otter Creek, Southern Vermont, and Lamoille, we all have the same requirements and duties to do in the next few years. So we haven't talked further about that, but and that's not new news to this board. We've been talking about that. There just hasn't been any motion on that lately. So that's going to be going on too in the next years. Yeah, hi, Mike.
Laura,
So-
another piece of this with a grant agreement with the Vermont Community Broadband Board is we had to come up with a sustainability plan for 10 years.
Mhm.
So that's a big piece of this is from out till 2036, we have to be sustainable, which means we still have to be here in existence. They've given us a considerable amount of money and we have the asset, so it's not something we can walk away from.
Right. Exactly. We have to exist. So we got to figure that out. How to feed ourselves. Hang around the campfire for another bunch of years. Right now my focus is on the next 2 years because that's what our funding is. There will be decisions to make during these 2 years of how we exist, as Larry said, through 30, I think it's 34 actually, but whatever. Yeah. So we do have motion on the table to approve our schedule for 2025.
Mhm. Yeah, let's approve it.
Is there more discussion or I'll take a vote? Hearing no more discussion. I've lost my train of thought. Please, everyone, please
I'll make
vote
a motion
aye.
to,
The
No,
motion was
the motion is done. The motion is done
To
and
approve.
seconded to approve the schedule for years 2025 for us.
I would make
Everyone-
that.
Everyone, please say aye if you approve that motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry, I don't know why my tongue is tied on that. Okay, I'm gonna move on. Stop sharing that item. Thank you for that. Thank you for this discussion. Okay, next item that we need a motion on, Front Porch Forum. So if you remember, several meetings ago, we approved a 6-month funding of service, our account, what is it called? Our subscription to Front Porch Forum. And we are due, I think, actually in January, if we want to take another subscription for Front Porch Forum for another 6 months. I discussed this in the executive board that I suggested that we do go ahead with one more. We might not do another one afterwards, but we have, for one thing, GoNet Speed has finished their area. We still have dribs and drabs of customers who are asked questions and, don't have a full understanding of service being available and things like, whether they're considered a long drop, and so on. So I thought it would be a good idea to have some presence on Front Porch Forum and try to get a blurb out once a month. I drafted a blurb. I can show you. I didn't pull it up actually, but essentially, the motion on the table is whether to approve funding for another 6-month period on Front Porch Forum.
One more, you were saying?
Yeah,
One-
I would only bring this to the board
Yeah.
in its 6-month period. It's 6 months at a time.
Yeah,
So
it's
the
like
next 6
700
months we can decide yay or nay.
It's like $700, right?
It's $900.
$900.
I know. I think it's 918 to be
918.
exact, but I'm sorry Mike isn't here to give us some further info on it. He's been handling it and he's been handling the postings. I've written a couple of postings. As you know, I've just shared them by email and we had some suggestions. Leslie, you had a suggestion and Danielle and I were talking before the meeting about writing one just to let people know that they can be a representative for their town and write a little bit of information about that. Thoughts or discussion?
Laura, in Mendon and Killington's Front Porch Forum, Fidium Fiber Internet has their own advertisement in it. And I don't believe I've ever seen Otter Creeks in our Killington Mendon Front Porch Forum. Not sure why.
It's just that for 1 week, just one posting. Right.
We only get one a month.
Right, 1 month.
Yeah.
Right. I know in the Potley area, there's a lot of advertisement by Fidium Fiber.
Yeah, they keep it in there on a regular basis. I see it as well. Which is
It's in the paper.
Yep.
So I'm not really sure how necessary it would be for us to duplicate that.
Well, they're advertising for their
service, right?
Service. So GoNet Speed doesn't do one. I can show you what I have written for that's my latest little blurb. It was sort of a copy of what I had last time, but I added some stuff to it. I'm gonna have to find it. Here it is. Oh, this says for January. I hope this is my latest one. Yeah, I don't think yeah, this is the latest one I wrote. Dear neighbors, what's new? We're so excited, blah, 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 is now completed, blah, blah, blah. Services now. Want to sign up? Go to our website. So I'm keeping it agnostic as far as I'm not mentioning Fidium, not mentioning GoNet Speed. Oh, no, I do. Sorry, in the next paragraph. So people have had questions about long undergrounds, We don't seem to have a lot of this going on in our area. Lamoille Fiber has a lot of this issue. But we wanted to be clear to customers. This ran in the last posting. I don't know, it might have been October, November last year. About the 500 feet and the 750 feet. Do you have questions? We'd be glad to provide information. So I'm trying to just reach out to the public and say that Otter Creek is here to support our constituents. You can reach us. You can reach us on our website. You can, further questions if they're having difficulties. It's just it's a reach out. This isn't anything about being a representative. Although, well, I just add that a little bit in the last paragraph, if you want to volunteer as a representative. And then, well, this is old. I think I wrote this in December when it was still holidays. So I'll delete the thing about the holiday season. So, we're a community organization. We're a municipal organization. We're not really a business in that sense that we offer service. What we offer is a community connection for people to reach out.
All right. What one more posting for? Should we put it to a vote?
Yes, I'm asking for a motion
I would
to
make a motion
go for
to have
6 months.
posted in Front Porch Forum.
Thank you,
I'll
Mark.
second.
Thank you. Was
Andy.
that Peter? Awesome. All in favor to go ahead with Front Porch Forum for a 6-month subscription? I'm not sure it's called subscription. Please say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Any nays? Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, that actually takes care of all our motions, so thank you. I hope we still have a quorum. I saw you had to join again, Brett, so yeah, hopefully you were there. So that's great. I'll continue though with our meeting. So let's see, next on my chair report, my request for proposal for a single audit. So I hope, we haven't had a quorum, sorry to interject this, for December, for November or December. So boy, I'm hoping that you've read meeting minutes to keep up with what's going on, because we have continued to exist. So I did reach 3 companies that do single audits who appeared interested. On the other hand, so far I've received 1 proposal. The due date is Friday. So, maybe we'll get another one. Maybe we won't. Not too worried about it. The company that did provide a proposal, the cost is within our budget. So that's good. It was right up near the budget. So it was not a surprise. I'd probably been told that it'd be how much it would be. So that will be good. I think I'm not going to ask for a motion to allow me to approve the audit. I think I'm just going to need to do that. So we'll negotiate that. There's not a huge rush. The audit has to be completed in September. But if we get all of our proposals in Friday or in a few more days after that, I would go ahead and approve it as long as it's within the budget.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah, we don't have a choice. We have to do our single audit.
Right.
So
You
I'll
want a
move.
proposal? You want a motion to do
No,
that? No? Okay.
I don't think I need one. I think that's going to be business as usual.
Mhm.
Okay, next item, I just wanted to mention annual appointments. So this is always a very annoying and huge job for me. But in the next, I will send out the appointment forms in the next couple of weeks or so. I'm going to ask representatives to get them to their own select boards, please, and get themselves reappointed by their select board, and get the forms back to me. It'll be me and Larry. Probably ask for it back to the chair email. If you're, you guys are here, so I'm hoping that all of you will continue to be representatives of your town. If you're stepping down and you need us, Otter Creek, to contact your select board, let me know. I'm hoping that's not the case.
Mhm.
So we have a few towns, as you know, who have not had a representative. So I'm continuing to work with those towns on getting a rep onto the board, or potentially withdrawing from the board until they have a representative, because we are really tight for quorums at our meetings, and that if
Right.
we don't have quorums, we can't operate. Okay, next item, member town certificate creation. So this was a brainstorm of, I think, mine after the nice certificates that Fidium made for all of the towns that they were working in.
The
So we
gig town?
wanted the gig town certificates,
town.
yeah. So I thought it'd be nice to have for the towns that have been members of Otter Creek. And I thought it would just be good for towns to have something physical in hand, a little plaque on the
Yeah.
wall that says that they're a member. So Larry and I haven't moved on that, but we'll get going at some point. Okay. Oh, I do have one more motion, right? Approval of previous meeting minutes. So the meeting minutes are from October 16th, as there was no quorum for November or December. I can put them up on the screen. I hope I have them ready, or I can entertain a motion to approve those minutes as written.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of October 16th, 2024 as presented.
I second that motion.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Leslie. All in favor to approve the minutes of October?
I prefer
16th?
Danielle.
That was
Yeah.
Danielle.
What was that? I didn't hear.
I said I approve those motions.
All
And I
right.
said I prefer Danielle.
Everyone else in favor of approving those,
Aye.
the motions,
Aye.
please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All righty. We are moving right along.
Okay, but Laura, I do have to leave here, so.
You have to jump. Yep.
Yes.
We don't have anything else that needs a motion to approve. So thank you, Mark. Good to see you.
May I say something?
Please.
I may potentially have somebody for Rutland City to join the board. He would like to attend the next meeting and see if it's
Fantastic.
something that he's interested in.
Fantastic. It would be great if he notified the Board of Aldermen.
Okay, I will ask him to do that.
Yeah, just the president or whatever, the clerk, whatever.
Absolutely.
Fantastic, Daniel. Thank you. Appreciate that so much.
Sure. What other towns do you need?
Yeah, baby.
I
Wells,
know people everywhere.
Wells is having a really hard time, and I've spoken to the select board at Wells for he's trying, and
I might have someone there as well.
West Rutland, the town manager, I know she's still considering withdrawing. I'm not sure, but she doesn't get to make the decision. It's a select board decision.
Give me an opportunity to work on those two towns. I may potentially
you.
know somebody who might represent us.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Tell you what, I will email you with that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Even
Thank
if
you,
they just
Danielle.
try out, or even if they just try out the first meeting, right?
Well, they have to be appointed. So it's a
Okay.
process. They have to be, the select board has to meet, appoint them, sign the form, send it to us. Then then they're appointed. So
Okay.
then they become a voting member. If they want to attend just to check out, what our monthly meeting is all about. I know it's really exciting stuff. And we have great snacks.
Fun.
My cup of tea, whatever.
All right.
That's
I will-
great. No,
I will
let's
let
talk
them know.
further. Thank you,
Absolutely.
Danielle. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
Absolutely. Okay, financials. I don't know if you want to see warrants. Warrants were approved at the November 14th, December 11th, December 18th was a special warrant to approve the consolidated's invoice, and January 8th. I will note that the warrant on the 18th of December was Consolidated's, essentially their last invoice to us. So they will have another one. They've had a 10% retainage, so they will be invoicing us for that. And they know that they might have some extraneous small items, but they're done invoicing us actually, and they are significantly under budget as well. So it'll be funds that are going back to the VCBB. If you'd like to see those warrants, I have them available, just presenting them for information. Otherwise, they're typically, Vantage Point, our consultant, as I said, it's our Google account, our website management, our bookkeeper, it's a monthly, a little bit of legal counsel, as Primer Piper represented us in the sale docket or the transition docket of Consolidated, things like that. You know what I'd like to do at this point, because we really don't have too much left to do, a little reporting. No, let's save this. I was going to show you our monthly costs. I just described them. There's not much of a secret there, is looking at it myself. Front porch forum, and then we have annual costs for insurance, the front porch forum thing, and Vacuda membership, and we'll have the single audit. That's like the extent of what we've got. And then we'll have some fees going to Rutland Regional. Okay, grant reports. Caleb was not able to be here, but I will say that I can look at our minutes from executive report. He's working on our final grant report, and actually, it goes today. So the quarterly reports go in today, and the monthly reports go in today. Quarterly and monthly. I'm not sure. I think that the final does not go in, but final closeout reports have been provided to me. I had a couple questions. One was that I wanted in our final report, I wanted the as-bills to show us the grant-funded fiber locations. So Consolidated is going to provide those to me. I mentioned at the executive board meeting that I could put the closeout report on Drive so everyone can see those. Mostly it's like Excel, extended Excel lists of every address, that they have to report. But But there are as-built. I was not familiar at looking at as-built of network drawings, so I had some questions, mostly just of my unfamiliarity of looking at those. I have failed to follow through and put those closeout reports on Drive, but I'd be happy to. And those will be available if anyone wants to look at them. Or if you have any questions, ask, but that's in process.
I'd be happy to go through the as-built and see how they're written.
Cool. I'd appreciate your feedback if you have any. That would be terrific. So I'll put them in there. I'll probably put a closeout report or something. It'll be obvious. Okay, grant reports, GoNet Speed update. Yep, so GoNet Speed has completed. They've completed at the end of December, as they said they would. I don't know, they might have been a week past, I'm not sure, but they are completed with the fiber build out on the infrastructure on the roads. As we were discussing, I think just before the meeting, Steve, we were chit-chatting that ground is frozen now. So to reach customers that need undergrounding is a challenge. Actually, you know what? GoNet Speed, they said that we were on a meeting with their, I don't know, the guy that manages the contractors. He said he has one contractor that is still putting stuff in the ground. Whatever machine he has, he's willing to go for it. But the other contractors will not. So they will and they should be working with residents who have ordered service to lay fiber on the ground where it can be done safely with the approval of the homeowner. So the communication about that seems to be getting lost occasionally with some of the contractors or the field workers. So that's a message that, I want to be careful how I would put that in Front Porch Forum. I don't want to just advertise that you can just throw a fiber on the ground. But maybe, well, part of it is if you experience difficulty, with service, if you have questions, come to us.
So Laura, I would not advertise that you can just throw it on the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't do that, because
right.
Jason, when we talked to him, his crew now is in this area is pretty informed. They know that they can do this, but it is a one-on-one basis. They have to go out and look at every site, and like they came out to my house, they looked, the fiber did get run on the ground. It's on the side of the house here. I'm scheduled for Friday at 11 o'clock. They're supposed to come in and put the modem in and get the thing lit up. So
cool. Day after tomorrow.
So I guess I want to say, I think where the communication is breaking down is when I talk to people, they don't even know this thing is available. I was at a function in the town, and like all the people that I was at, they're like, oh, I didn't even know. How are we supposed to know that it's available? And I'm like, yeah, that has been a bit of a problem. And so they're like, so who do I call? I said, call GoNet Speed. I said, get a hold of their customer service. And so, some of the folks there said yes, that we're going to do that this week. So our actual residents in the town really don't know that this fiber is available. They just, I think us just getting that out, that it is available,
right,
then letting it unfold that, oh, yeah, we would have to lay it on the ground, but it's not safe. Let that unfold.
Yeah, I don't, right.
If you will.
I'm with you entirely, Chris. Yeah. If people contact us a very one-on-one, like if your neighbor has an issue and wants to talk to us and we can help them get in touch
Right.
with the GoNet Speed representative. That's the only way I'd want to approach that. I agree with you
Exactly.
entirely. That's interesting, though, that there's still like a lack of awareness. I'd like to ask our rep Heidi how their marketing is being done.
That's the
I
big
was
thing.
constantly
I
asking Consolidated that,
I
and
personally have received no marketing materials as
interesting.
customer.
Yeah, let's
Period.
get in touch with her.
I
Yeah.
only know about it because I'm on this board. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known either, right? I would have been
Yeah.
scurrying and trying to find out how this is working.
Right.
And
And,
I
you
don't
know,
think that,
yeah.
to be honest with you, I don't think that fiber will be out there laying on the ground unless the fact is that I was on this board.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yes.
Right. I would have assumed, and we talked to them months ago about their marketing. I think I definitely talked to Consolidated. I saw their marketing. They had people driving around. Well,
We
I
did
saw a guy on a
mention it to
Segway.
Heidi. We did
Yeah.
mention it to Heidi in that last meeting. We asked the question about the marketing and
Yep.
So it isn't that we didn't ask.
Mhm.
They've really got to take the initiative to get that out there. You know,
Yep.
they've got to do the mailings and stuff. It can't be just on their website. People
Right.
don't go to the GoNet Speed website. They never do. I never do.
Yeah.
So it's got to be a little more than that.
Yep. Yep. We assumed. Yeah, I think we thought they were doing mailings. I'm gonna contact her tomorrow and ask her
Okay.
about that. Thanks, Chris.
It wouldn't surprise me if just talking to the installer here in Benson that they're pretty busy. So it wouldn't
Mhm.
surprise me. I'm not saying that they're doing this, but it wouldn't surprise me if they're not
Yeah.
letting it out, only because they'll just get bombarded. They have a small crew. So
Yeah. And it's winter, so there are already some limitations. Yeah. But let me ask her about that, and, she can respond appropriately, and yeah, let's see what's going on, at least so we know.
yeah, when the installer came to
I hear
my
you,
house,
Steve.
when he came to my house, he told me that he had 4 that day. He has to, and that's quite a
Oh,
bit.
wow.
If you
That's a
start
lot.
drilling through homes and you got to fire up
Right.
the service and
Yeah,
and then do any repairs on top of that afterwards. So
yeah. We don't want them to be in a hurry to do.
Boy, they're
Good
getting
job.
off easy. They're getting off easy with me because I did all that this weekend. I drilled the hole, I've run the hangers. I can put that fiber in. It's right there. I could have done that, but I said I better not because they might get mad at that. But it'll take him 5 minutes to get that to where it needs to, literally. And then most of his time is going to be hooking up the modem. So I made his job real easy. Plus, I didn't want him drilling on my house. I'll
I know
drill
what you
my
mean.
house. Thanks.
Right. You should get a month of free service for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of luck. Right. Good input. Great. Yeah, good ideas. Keep them coming. I'll move on. Consolidated. Yeah, I don't have any other news really. They're done. We're working on closeout reports. They are actually looking at Bede. They had a list of addresses that were identified as, not being served, mostly because they were ineligible. However, when they went through all of those eligible addresses, they found most of them were actually already served. A bunch of them were like bridges or quarries, they were E911 addresses, but they didn't need service. They ended up having 2 residential addresses that they're going to apply for to serve. One is in Pittsford and one is in Brandon. I didn't ask further what those addresses were.